I'm standing here looking at my English ivy at the back corner here, and it's a very secluded corner. And there is battle going on right now with two very strong growers. I would call them strong invaders. So we have here Japanese English ivy, and we have a Vinca minor. And I'm kind of wondering who is going to win the battle. And I have a feeling that English ivy, which is trying to conquer now, coming into this stone patio, the stone patio here. And I kind of like her here under this area, under our sofa. Usually we have sofa cushions here, but we had a beautiful, wonderful rain, one of those soaking long rains, and garden loves it. So I think that next year, English ivy would be winning the battle. So let's show you around what is flowering in the garden. Well, our beauty bush is already coming into its quiet stage right now. And this corner usually is being picked up by my wonderful Clematis here on this little standing pole. And last year, I remember, this Clematis is here for 3 years. So last year I remember looking at these Clematis here, and they were doing okay. And because I have a feeling that because we live in Connecticut, zone 6-7, and we have very acidic, not very, but somewhat acidic soil, the tendency of the soil here is towards acidic side. And Clematis do love sweet soil, alkaline soil. So what I did with Clematis this year, I put the area around the root system of my Clematis, I put a little bit of ashes from our fireplace. And for the beginner gardener, ashes do bring soil into the sweet side, into alkaline side. And what happens, sometimes people wonder that if they put ashes on one spot, the alkalinity will start spreading. No, the way it works, the changes in soil go through levels down, but they don't necessarily spread out into the sides, which is important because, let's say, if you have Clematis here and rose there, you want Clematis to be on a sweet soil, but you want your rose to be on a slightly sour, acidic soil, because roses flourish on a slightly acidic soil. So you know what, for me it's still a mystery when people even write books about Clematis and roses growing together. I still can't figure it out, in my garden at least, how to combine those two successfully. And you know what, generally maybe because Clematis are not very successful here to begin with. At least in our area here, I can never see a very successful, beautiful, flamboyant Clematis climbing the sky and just taking everything in stride. So, since I put these ashes here only this spring, I didn't expect big results since, ashes don't work themselves very quickly. Maybe next year I will see the results. But this year, I think my Clematis are already responding to a beautiful change in soil. So right here in this corner, where my roses are still babies, so you can see a little pop of color here and there, Clematis are doing their quiet show here. So this area is still under development, but look at this beautiful rose. I really appreciate a very clean color of this Cordes rose. It is a Parfuma rose, and it is in my garden for 3 years already. It's Floribunda, and I really appreciate the beautiful clean color of the blooms. Wonderful. She's going to be bigger here. She's going to be wide, and hopefully eventually she will occupy all this space. I can't wait. But you know what the problem with this area is? Our bird feeder and squirrels going for that bird feeder. And what are they doing? They are damaging my new dawn rose, and they're eating the buds, which is annoying because I was waiting for a nice display of my flowers, and they're not going to happen this year because all these buds are eaten. So what I'm going to do, we do love birds in the garden. I have to move this bird feeder somewhere else for squirrels not to have the, you know, the highway here going up and down and destroying my new dawns. By the way, there are 2 new dawns planted on both sides. They are just, what, 1 year old, and the plan is eventually for them to climb up and have all this area full of wonderful light pink blooms. And you know what, the other day I was looking through my garden and I have a lot of pink roses. It's true, I like soft colors in the garden, especially blues and pinks. But I think in the front, I'm going to have, especially in the front windows, I'm going to have a little pink overload. So let's come and I will show you the back porch where there is a lot of color. And the biggest color still belongs to Lady of Shalott. She is slowing down with her blooms, and of course all of them are nodding towards the side because the sun is here. Yeah, she's getting tired with her blooms. I have to go in and trim her. I did already some good trimming on her, and she looks a little bit nicer and tidier. And you know, people ask me, do you need to trim your roses? You know what, you don't have to, but there are some things which you do for the rose to expect certain results. And if you don't trim your rose, all these petals are going to fall, get stuck on leaves, there will be rain, and all this stuff is going to be here, bringing all this to diseases, you know, spreading the diseases. And roses which are prone to diseases should have a good sanitation around them. So I do clean my rose here very well, since she's right here where we have rest area and our table, our dinner table. As for my beautiful back porch, this is the area where we hang out with my family, and the backbone here belongs to this. Look at this fat boy. Oh my gosh, he's so good. This is Sedum Autumn Joy. And a lot of you ask me questions, how do I fertilize them? So you know what, I'm kind of simple with fertilization. I take a slow release artificial fertilizer in granules, Osmocote, and I feed this guy in spring. And you know what I learned this year? Just look at this guy. Let me move this thing here for you to see. Look how he jumps out of his pot and comes into a little lollipop shape. You know why? I did something different this year for this sedum. I raised the level of soil really high, and sedum has all this space just to flop out. And you know, sedums bloom in the end of summer, middle and end of summer, so they really have a nice backbone here for me, and I really enjoy keeping them here year after year. They overwinter in pots, no problem. And I remember I tried different sedums in pots, not all of them like fertilization, but this sedum, Autumn Joy, loves it. I remember also somebody of you asked me how I fertilize all the pots in the back. And you know what, at my master gardening program, somebody gave us excellent advice. So here it is. So if you want your plants to thrive, to be nice and full of flowers, you take your fertilizer, whatever you have, liquid form, and you use half of it every week watering your plants. So let's say if the dose is a spoon and a half per 2 liters, per 2 gallons of water, you divide that and water your plants every week, which is a great plan, you know, because it applies to any fertilizer you might have, whatever you like to use at the back porch. I use also synthetic fertilizers. I really don't use any synthetic stuff in my garden, but my porch, my pots, when I'm not growing any spices in them, any herbs, I use synthetic fertilizer. So that's how it is in my back porch here. Look, my salvia is coming along very well. Oh, there are 2 plants here growing very fast. There is one failure, unfortunately. Look at this. In this pot there was Brachycomb Blue Splendor growing. And you know what happened? They went down one after another. I have no idea what happened. So that is not working for me. So I quickly put, what did I put? Salvia, Maynite, yes. And salvia will quickly make the growth here and will make a nice show. And you know what happened yesterday, I believe? I saw the first visitor in my garden, the first Japanese beetle. And I said to him, you know what, you're a little bit late because roses are already past their huge crescendo. And I saw it on my Vanessa Bell rose. He was busy eating a leaf. So that's the first beetle, which is a surprise to me. Usually beetles show up so quickly. This year, because of our very cold spring, they missed it. I want to show you my generous gardener, of course. I think you're going to see it every time while we are walking and my roses are blooming. How can I miss it? Look at all this. Oh my gosh. Look at all these petals falling. There's a whole hill of them there because all this section is finishing blooming. All the petals are falling. And it's kind of convenient here for the petals to fall because I'm going to just swipe them all. They're not falling between the plants. But look at all my beautiful blooms. Oh, soon by July, all this is going to be just a memory. And I will be looking at this photograph thinking, oh my gosh, what a beautiful thing that is. All right, let's go back to the side of my garden and look at a quiet little corner which is brightened up by dead nettle. And you know what, dead nettle is such a quiet little plant, but if it's used well in dark corners, it really can brighten up that area. Look at this corner. So here we have dead nettle. Let me see what's the name of it. I have a label somewhere. It says pink pewter. So this dead nettle usually gets kind of disheveled in the heat of the summer, but the heat of the summer is not here yet. So dead nettle is blossoming, and because the foliage is really silvery white, this corner, which is very shady, is playing its role in my garden, you know? So, many years ago, I built this passage with stones and concrete. It's holding on. Some of them are falling off, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me. So here was a little open space of land. And I decided to plant garden thyme. And you know what? Garden thyme, I didn't think it will really be happy here because it's kind of shady. But look how lovingly... Oh, look at this. Wow. This is some performance. Look how... thyme went all the way up the pathway. I didn't really know that it went so far. All right. Oh, it smells so nice. I love this scent. A happy plant here, you know? There's nothing better than a well-matched place with a plant. A quiet place, but mint is doing its own quiet time here. So this is this area blooming right now. Oh, look at my Clematis here too. I just planted it here last year. Look at these beautiful flowers near my Olivia Austin. Oh, we had such a rain. Oh, what happened here? Somebody took my roses down, which is okay. So Olivia Austin almost finished its blooms. I will just come in, clean her out, make sure that she's not very congested here. And looks like she will have her break. I don't see any new buds for now. So let's see, I'm curious. She's a new rose for me. And there is one more rose I want to show you. This is her first performance in my garden. Her name is Adelaide d'Orleans, and she is a mighty rambler. Look at these ferns and a weed. Oh, she's a quiet, dainty thing. Well, don't be surprised by this quiet and dainty appearance, because the strength of this shoot will tell us all what a mighty rambler it will be. And you know what? My plan is, maybe even I will go train her here. And if I can, oh my gosh, this guy needs to be trimmed here. He's huge. If I can train several branches to go around the house, I'm not sure how big the Lady Orleans gets, but I think she's quite vivacious, and I can throw several branches there to show in the front. That would be very lovely. The flowers are quite small and gentle, and the Lady Orleans takes the show by numbers, but not by the beauty of the flowers, although flowers are charming, you know. So this is a smallish first performance from the Lady Orleans. What else is blooming new in my garden? Well, come here and let's look at my vegetable beds in the front. My tiger lilies will be picking up the show maybe in a week or 2 weeks. They are just measuring a borderline here between us and our neighbors. Here's a fence, and I think they will be doing very well here. And of course, right now, show belongs to Nepeta, Walker's Low. This area is very dry here, and Nepeta takes it in stride. You know what? I was thinking maybe I should have planted here lavender. Lavender probably would be magnificent here because this area is always sunny and dry as a bone, but it's okay. Nepeta is doing well there. And look at this beautiful, dainty little thing. This is speedwell. This is its second year in my garden, and look how gentle and beautiful it is. But at the same time, when you touch this plant, oh, it's so strong and sturdy, you know. And my peas shouldn't even play here with each other. They should climb up, you know. The same here. You have to go this way. All right, but you know what, peas, they try to get wherever they can. All right, let's see. My sage is getting past its prime, which is fine. Oh, there are a lot of bees here. And the garden keeps chugging, you know. I'm quite happy how everything is progressing. I think that's it. The update what's blooming in the garden. Happy gardening, and we will see you in our next video.